Well, Scott, at the start of the season you were frustrated by a lack of clean sheets, and now it's 4 in the last 8?
Something like that, yeah. I think we've been really solid since just after the Tamworth game. Not really solid, but we've been a lot more solid since just after the Tamworth game. Just before the Tamworth game, we've not, apart from the Chesterfield, we've not had any heavy ones. But we've been a lot more solid, and that's pleasing. Stevie and Troy have been absolutely brilliant at the back there, and they've been really consistent, and I think that's been one of the biggest differences. They've been really solid and consistent.
Steve said that the biggest frustration for him has been the fact that the back four has not been a settled combination. Is that a big thing for you?
Yes and no. I mean, I think there's not been too many goals where, apart from possibly the Chesterfield one, where I think everyone thought Mitch was going to let it run out and he kicked it back into play, because we watched the DVD and everyone's walking up the pitch because everyone thinks he's just going to let it run out. But just little things like that, you know, maybe Mitch likes to keep the ball in play and playing. But apart from that, I can't think of too many goals that have been because we've not played together before. That was possibly the only one. But yeah, I'd like to say when Stevie and Troy played together, they've been really solid, and hopefully they can keep like that.
Do you play Fantasy Football Manager?
I do, yes.
So if you could play that just for a minute, what do you think the team needs to be better?
I don't know. I always cheat and when I'm Man United and put loads of more money in my bank account, so maybe that.
No, the serious point, I mean, if you look at the last 2 seasons and you look at this season, what do you think, okay, we need this, particularly looking forward to next season, because this season is going to be, well, who knows what the St. League might bring, but you know where I'm going with it.
I think consistency is the main thing. I mean, you look at likes of Burton Albion, I think, are a great example. I mean, they're just consistent. They grind results in, week out. York City have been exactly the same since Christmas time. They get results week in, week out, and that's what gets you up the table. And both have got a lot of experienced players and who know the league and know what it takes to get results at this level, and that's what the teams like that do. And I think that's what we started to do and we needed to do from the start of the season.
So to that end, do you think that you can only have a certain number of people like Michael and the other loanees who have come in, because in a sense the blend is too youthful?
In a way, possibly, yeah. Like I say, Burton got a lot of experienced players, but then they've got the lad from Wolves, Ismail, who's done brilliant for them. So it's about finding the right balance. But you look at their team generally, most weeks there's a lot of experienced players in there, particularly at the back, and we've got the likes the Sharps and the 2 fullbacks, and they've even let Xander Diamond go to Northampton. So it just shows you what a good squad they've got. And it is, I mean, like we were all buzzing after we beat Newport 1-0 away. Great, was all solid, but then come the Tuesday night we had a young back four and we got turned over by Chesterfield. So it is all about finding that consistent and the right balance.
And talking of experience, you're certainly now the most experienced player in terms of games at Cheltenham. You're almost like the figurehead of the side.
I wouldn't say that at all. No, I mean, I always look up to Stevie, and he's the one I always look up to. So yeah, I wouldn't say that at all.
Wycombe, 22nd, better than being 23rd, but not much better.
They're good. They'll get the ball down. They'll play. They've got some. The front two are really lively. I spoke to Russ after the game Saturday, and he said the front two are lively, and they look to get in behind all the time. And I think they scored off their corner as well. Russ said on the break, so and a penalty. So we know it's going to be a very tough game. And like I say, if we win, you never know. But if you lose, then we'll be looking over our shoulder again. So it's such a tight league, and I think the fact that nobody's run away with it and nobody's adrift at the bottom, it just shows it could take 55 points to be safe, and it could only take 65 to be in the playoffs. So you just don't know. It's that tight a league.
Do you pass on information that Russ may have given to you?
I'm sure the gaffer will tell us all, but I speak to Russ nearly every day still. So yeah, it's like I say, it's weird because they've got Portsmouth Saturday, and last week. It's weird how the fixtures worked out, but we seem to be playing a lot of the same teams around the same sort of time, so we just speak in general about everything.
Right, done. Thank you,
Scott. If they get in the playoffs and Cheltenham don't, you know you're going to be in a bit of trouble, aren't you?
Yeah, we were saying the other day. I mean, fair play to their chairman. They're really invested in them in January, and I bet there's a lot of I bet there's a few clubs thinking, I bet, because nobody's ran away with it. I think maybe if people had, whatever club had invested more in, like York did, in some experienced players in January, then it just shows you what a little run can do for you. Because they were they were third from bottom and not won for ages in January, and now they've invested well and they've got a lot of experienced players, and they've gone and they're a goal off the playoffs.
Yeah, and you mentioned Troy and Stevie. Since you've been in goal, since you came to the team, you've had a few good centre half partnerships, and some, you had Allsop and Sam Cox at one point, but you've had some good ones. And how do you think this one would compare to?
It's slightly different to Allsop and Cox. Yes, I mean, Stevie's brilliant. He put anything in the air, you know he's 99 times out of 100 he's going to win it, and he's a real leader, and lads all look up to him. And Troy's coming back from his injury straight back, and it's like he's not been away, and he's done really well as well. And like I said, they're both good together, and I think they're getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, pretty much knew it was going to be Elliott and Bennett for a year and a half, didn't you? Then Hector came in, but this season it's been a bit all over the place just for various reasons. But it looks like these two, with a bit of luck injury-wise, they could keep it going to the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, like Michael's come in at right back, and he's done unbelievably well for a young lad. And Mitch come in, had a good game, then a not so good game against Chesterfield, and then another good game Saturday. But that's what, like I say, with young players, you do get that inconsistency. Sido's gone over to left back, and I think he does a lot better at left back because he concentrates on defending rather than worrying about too much else. And like I say, it's all very good.
Yeah, and Saturday in the first half, did you just think you're going to have to win ugly today? It's going to have to get one, nick one.
In the first half, I have read their manager's comments. He said we were there for the beating. I didn't quite think it was like that, but we weren't playing well, and we just had to get through the first half and then come out second half and start well, and that's what we did.
Yeah. Brilliant, Bernie.
One more, Bernie, if I may. Well, if you're on. After the game at Oxford, Jamie Curtin said that somebody would end up in the playoffs who didn't expect to be there, and Southend have had a long run without a win, and they're still in there. Do you think that's right?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it just shows you how tight. Well, not how tight. How strange the league is. Southend haven't won for 11 games, and they're still in the playoffs. So it's and they weren't that far ahead of everyone not to be, if you know what I mean. It's not like they're top and they've fallen away, but somebody's going to get in there. Whether Southend pick up again, that last spot is definitely up for grabs. But whether we, like I say, win tomorrow, then everything looks a lot better. But lose tomorrow, and you just don't know. So someone's going to go on a run and get in the team. I'd give you any odds on York getting in the playoffs, but now they're a goal off it. So who knows?
Great, thank you.
Cheers.